In the US, where President Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Trump has decided that his first big policy proposal will be buying or perhaps invading Greenland.
Donald Trump wants to buy Greenland.
We've all had those moments, usually late at night, where we think about maybe, possibly buying Greenland.
All the time.
But one incoming president of the United States is actually considering it, and you'll never guess who it is.
Trump is back in office, and he can't wait to stir things up.
American president to think about buying Greenland from Denmark, which technically owns it.
But why Greenland? What makes this icy island so special? And is this even a possibility? Well, let's dive into this peculiar story, unpack the facts, and see if there's more to it than meets the eye. At first glance, Greenland might seem like just a vast frozen wilderness, but don't be fooled. Beneath its icy exterior, Greenland holds immense strategic, economic, and geopolitical value that makes it far more than just a barren Arctic outpost.
President-elect Trump says he wants to buy Greenland.
But if Trump were to somehow acquire Greenland, what exactly would he be getting? Well, Greenland is the world's largest island, spanning a jaw-dropping 836,000 square miles. It's a place where 80% of its land is covered in ice. Located between the North Atlantic and Arctic Oceans, it lies northeast of Canada and northwest of Europe. Though geographically part of North America, Greenland is politically and historically tied to Europe as an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. It is a very strategic location. Greenland's position in the Arctic makes it one of the most significant territories in the world. As climate change melts Arctic ice, new shipping routes are emerging, routes that could drastically cut travel times between Europe and Asia. This shift is already reshaping global trade, and any country with control over Greenland would have a major stake in this new economic frontier. Greenland also has untapped resources. What's under Greenland's ice is a hidden gold mine. The island is packed with rare earth metals, uranium, and iron ore.
Is these critical minerals that are sometimes called rare earths that are used particularly in things like electric cars, wind turbines, the very thing that makes the electrification, if you like.
These are materials we need to build things like smartphones, electric cars, and wind turbines. Greenland is also believed to have around 50 billion barrels of offshore oil and gas reserves that are largely untouched. With resources like these, Greenland could become a major player in the global economy. But before we delve even deeper, why on earth is Greenland called Greenland when it's a giant ice cube? Well, the story goes back to Eric the Red, a Viking explorer who was evicted from Iceland and forced to settle on the island around 985 AD. He wanted to make the place sound more inviting for others, so he lied a little bit. The beginning of creative marketing.
The world's largest island has a population of just 57,000, mostly descended from Inuit indigenous peoples that migrated from North America 4,000 to 5,000 years ago.
Greenland is one of the least densely populated places on Earth. Now, to put that into perspective, more people live in Duluth, Minnesota, or Santa Fe, New Mexico, than in all of Greenland. Its capital, Nuuk, is home to about 18,800 people, and serves as the island's cultural and administrative heart. The rest of the population is scattered across small towns and settlements, hugging the ice-free coastal areas. Why? Because the island's interior is dominated by a massive ice sheet that covers about 80% of its surface. It's the second largest ice sheet in the world, behind Antarctica. In Greenland, there are no roads connecting towns due to the rugged terrain and vast distances. Instead, transportation relies on boats, airplanes, and even dog sleds. Living in Greenland means embracing isolation. Flights to and from the island are limited and expensive, so no one is receiving a lot of Amazon deliveries. Inuit heritage is woven into the fabric of daily life. The Greenlandic language, Kalaallisut, is widely spoken alongside Danish, and traditional hunting and fishing practices remain vital for many communities. But why exactly does Donald Trump want Greenland?
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time.
It may seem surprising, but Trump's interest in Greenland isn't as outlandish as it sounds. In fact, The U.S. has tried to buy Greenland before. Back in 1946, President Harry Truman offered Denmark $100 million for Greenland. At the time, the idea wasn't as wild as it sounds.
1946 is our year of decision. This year, we lay the foundation of our economic structure, which will have to serve for generations. This year, we must decide whether or not we shall devote our strength to reaching the goal of full production and full employment.
The U.S. was looking to protect itself during the Cold War. Greenland's location made it an ideal buffer against any potential threats from the Soviet Union. For Trump, acquiring Greenland would serve both strategic and economic purposes.
President Trump has re-expressed his desire to take Greenland, this time refusing to rule out the possibility of using military or economic coercion to achieve his goals. It's an idea he's been pushing since 2019, when he first suggested purchasing the island from Denmark.
From a military perspective, controlling Greenland would bolster U.S. defense capabilities in the Arctic and strengthen its position against rivals like Russia and China. Economically, Trump has pointed out that Denmark spends nearly $700 million annually to support Greenland, an expense he believes the U.S. could offset by developing the island's resources.
Denmark essentially owns it, so the concept came up, and I said certainly I'd be. Strategically, it's interesting. Essentially, it's a large real estate deal. A lot of things could be done, but we'll talk to them a little bit.
The question now is Greenland actually for sale? While Denmark technically owns Greenland, the island has significant autonomy with its own government. Any decision to sell would require approval from both Denmark and the people of Greenland, who have made their stance clear. Prime Minister Mute Egde stated, "Greenland is ours. We are not for sale and will never be for sale." Even if negotiations were possible, a highly unlikely scenario.
We don't want to be Danes, we don't want to be Americans. We want to be Greenlandic, and of course it is the Greenlandic people who decide their future.
The logistical challenges would be enormous. And then there's the price tag. If buying Greenland were a possibility, it would cost a fortune. According to David Baker, a real estate developer and former economist, the price could range anywhere from $12.5 billion to $77 billion. While the idea of Trump buying Greenland might sound wild, there are valid reasons why the island is seen as valuable, not just by Trump, but by other global powers too. The only way this deal could happen would be if Greenland was given an offer they simply couldn't refuse. But at the end of the day, buying Greenland is highly unlikely. But when Trump is involved, you never know. He would probably rename it Trumpland. So, what do you think? Is Trump crazy or crazy like a fox? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, why stop here? Check out another of our videos. Who knows what you'll learn next?